This week on the pod.
We're going to chat about the movies The Wrecking Crew, Dracula, and Crime 101.
And for TV, we'll be digging into the season finale of Spartacus, House of Ashur, and seeing what kind of crazy shit's popping off on Sam's train and Hijack.
Anyway, let's get into it. This is
We Should Pod That. Episode 24. Like the Kiefer Sutherland series.
We should watch that with Ashley and Sushi. Feel the vibes, it's a night so lush.
Okay, friends, The Wrecking Crew on Amazon Prime is basically what happens when two extremely large, extremely charismatic action stars decide, you know what, they want to smash things together on screen, and Hollywood says, sure, why not?
Hell yeah.
This one's directed by Angel Manuel Soto and written by Jonathan Tropper, with the core idea built around, hey, let's pair these two guys, Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista, in the same movie and just let that energy do most of the work. The film follows these two mismatched bros, two different vibes, who are forced to look into the death of their father and a whole bunch of madness. I mean, I know they're brothers, but it kind of feels a little like a buddy action comedy.
It does.
Yeah. And
I'll get into that a bit.
Oh, hell yeah. And there's a fun contrast between the guys. Batista's a little buttoned up. He works for the military, training dudes. Jason Momoa is a detective, but is he really? Because he is the most slovenly train wreck of a detective you've ever seen. And yeah, it's pretty fun, man. It's loud, physical, a little self-aware, leans into the fun of watching these two intense screen presences collide, rather than pretending anyone's here for anything other than action. Yeah, I gotta say, immediate reaction, love it, man. It's got a twangy guitar, Lethal Weapon style, you know.
Oh, yeah, no.
Love it. Jason Momoa is a terrible, terrible partner to his long-suffering girlfriend.
Yeah.
But the real stuff in here is just the action. I think we're going to have to get into spoilers.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's some stuff we got to talk about. But
It's a streaming movie. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Before I hand it over to you, couple things. Two of my favorite quotes. Someone sees a tattoo of a dragon and says, "Is that a badly drawn horse?" And then also at one point, one character says to another, "Talking to you is like pushing rope."
Oh, yeah.
You know what, Sush? Talking to you is not like pushing rope.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's the highest compliment that one partner can give another.
Thank you.
So tell me what you thought about this crazy
Well,
movie.
I'm kind of glad that I have my raspiest voice for this movie that Jason Momoa is in. So I'm delivering this review in like the appropriate tone, literally. But yeah, just off the bat, there's so much bad boys energy in this movie.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And you know they basically wrote this movie with that in mind, because Stephen Root's character isn't even these guys' boss.
That's true.
Bautista is not naval police, and Momoa is a suspended Oklahoma cop. Mind you, they're in Hawaii in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But they seriously play out this movie with them doing stereotypical bad boy stuff, like having a funny scene with them being reprimanded by Stephen Root in his office, even though the brothers don't even work for them. Like, and discussing an investigation of a hit and run with them, but then reprimanding them for wanting to keep the information they're handed. Like, he tells off Momoa saying that he's, quote, not even a cop here, and says to Bautista, "You're not a cop anywhere." I mean, not like I ever doubted it since I saw them on an Apple TV show, on that Apple TV show, C.
That's creepy, that show.
Yeah, Momoa and Bautista work amazingly well together as brothers. Especially that big man brother fight in the rain, which they just had to have because these dudes are huge. and they wouldn't be
Yeah.
slapboxing in the living room, you know?
Yeah, man.
Next, about the cast. Batista's character, James Hale, is a Navy SEAL commander. But it seems like he doesn't really have much to do most of the time.
Yeah. He's just like hanging out underwater, being like, "Oh, these guys can't hold their breath long enough with the
I
training."
just find it hilarious that he's basically on the clock for at least part of this investigation into his dad's death, since he's clearly wearing a Navy uniform when he like meets with Stephen Root's character at one point.
Yeah.
Either that or military benefits are like really good. Still. But real talk, I do think they did a good job with this character as far as portraying a father and an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Momoa, I think, had the absolute best role for this movie, playing Johnny Hale.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was one of the producers, and him and Batista were involved in coming up with the idea for the movie.
Yeah.
But regardless, he plays a greasy detective that apparently lives in Oklahoma.
He does not look like he lives in Oklahoma.
Yeah, regarding the locale, I don't understand, since he probably sticks out like a sore thumb. Otherwise, he's a perfect fit for that. He rides motorcycles, talks shit, drinks beer, and cracks jokes. Basically the best of Jason Momoa, kind of like his ridiculous characters from Fast X.
Yes.
I got two great lines from him in this movie that I made sure to mark down. The first one is when he's talking to Morena Baccarin's character, his girlfriend, and he says, I mean, Portuguese is basically drunken Spanish.
Oh, my God.
And then another part of the movie where he's telling Batista to get ready to leave, and he's like, grab your little pee-pee.
Oh, my God. I missed that one. Well, actually, if I could interject just briefly.
Yeah.
The writing in this is great.
Oh, my God. There's so many. I'm pretty sure they just let him improv, or at least let Momoa do it, because he's got so many side comments during dialogue. I don't think they, came up with it for the actual script.
Interesting. The writer, Jonathan Tropper, he was actually the creator of the show Banshee, which I really love.
Oh, yeah. I saw something about that.
Yeah. And he also created Warrior, which is that show that was based on the Bruce Lee idea that they passed on. And he also created Your Friends and Neighbors, which I haven't seen, but I know a lot of people love John Hamm in that. So this guy's got some chops for sure.
Cool. Next, I think it's hilarious that Morena Baccarin has become the go-to movie wife or girlfriend for greasy guys.
Oh, yeah.
But in all seriousness, even though they share that commonality, they aren't ever the same character.
Right.
Like, she plays the concerned mom in Greenland, but in this movie, she plays Momoa's spicy Brazilian girlfriend, Valentina, that apparently works in banking, which eventually provides her a way to have a more legit connection to the plot.
It's Chekhov's banking professional.
Oh, man. Oh, let's see what else. Oh, it was cool to see Branscombe Richmond in this movie as Mr. K. I was a big fan of the TV show Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas.
Oh, yeah.
And he played Bobby Sixkiller in it.
Cool.
Jacob Batalon as Pico was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he played off Momoa really well throughout the movie. Just an all-around perfect comedic relief police informant character. Honestly, him and most, if not like all the supporting cast has pretty funny moments throughout the movie. Yeah, this movie really embodies action comedy more than any movie within recent memory.
A lot of action, a lot of comedy.
Oh, yeah, one more note. The guy, his name's Miyavi, actually. He's a Japanese musician.
Oh.
But he plays a Yakuza henchman, Nakamura, in this movie that has a crazy coke habit.
Oh, one of my favorite moments.
Yes, it's just stupid in a hilarious way. How he just had to rail a bunch of coke every so often before he's about to get in a major fight or like do something. I don't know.
Now, should we get into spoilers? Because I got to talk about some fights. When you're ready. When you're ready. No rush.
Yeah, I was going to say the music for the movie is pretty good all around. Like the score and the soundtrack. Well, yeah, like most importantly, absolutely love the action in this movie. Every shootout was visceral.
Yeah.
There's always something crazy going on aside from just people shooting at each other. Like Batista running over a flipped car during a gunfight.
Oh, my God.
in so many scenes that are so beautifully capped off with some hilarious lines or scenes to follow up. I mean, they literally rip a dude's arm off their body.
Oh my God. It was a woman's body, I thought.
I don't know. But they're hanging outside the window of a van while being smashed up against a median.
Yeah,
it's nuts, but it's also pretty hilarious.
It was wonderful. There were at least 2 moments where we looked at each other and said, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell this movie, it's like a delivery device for action scenes.
Yes.
Because I find, and I realized this like when I rewatched the movie, the villain is like a total throwaway character.
I forget who it is.
Exactly. I honestly forgot about his involvement between the time that they find out his wife is dead to when they had the final gunfight and Momoa and Batista are ready to raid his house.
Oh my God.
To like save their family. I honestly had no idea what the hell else he was doing. I don't think he really did anything. He was just like some scheming bad guy, I guess. Anyway. With that said, let me get into my rating.
Yes.
Enjoyment, I give it a 4.5.
Oh, hell yeah.
Quality, I give it a 4.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I love the fuck out of this movie.
Yes.
And I gotta admit, feeling something of a special connection. Being from Taiwan and having some Pacific Islander heritage myself. So it's hard to just dial back my praise for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool cultural stuff in it. Just,
it really is.
It just like sits in it. So
it's really
it's not like they're going out of their way for it, but everything kind of lives and breathes in like Hawaii-ness.
Yeah.
I gave it a bit of a lower score on the quality just due to some obvious green screen in a lot of the scenes.
Oh, true.
I honestly would have enjoyed a bit more practical effects or at least better VFX for this. I got some minor nitpicks regarding plot and character. Like, why is Rude even discussing details regarding an active case with 2 people who aren't even his coworkers?
Yeah.
And overdone action movie and buddy cop tropes that were in there. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of them, like their family being kidnapped by the big bad.
Yeah.
That led them to the final fight because, like I said, I didn't even remember that guy really. But yeah, 4.5 enjoyment.
Heck
4
yeah.
for quality.
And before I get into my ratings, I just want to call out the second unit director, John Valera. So second unit directors basically do all of the action. And this guy, I immediately was like, oh, hell yeah. Because he is an 8711 guy. That's the stunt team that's behind John Wick and basically all of the best American action movies you've seen over the last 15 years. And he did such an incredible job. Just to call out some of the work he did so you can be impressed, because I love stunt things and I have to get into it. First of all, he is second unit director on the new Street Fighter movie, so that's exciting. He worked on Chief of War with Momoa. He did the Minecraft movie, so he might be behind some of the stupidest stunts there. We got Aquaman, we got Blue Beetle, we got C, John Wick, Birds of Prey, Creed 2, Deadpool 2, Black Panther. This guy is...
Okay, well, it makes sense then why there was a lot of dumb action. Dumb in a good way. It was
dumb,
just ridiculous,
really, and unique, really unique. I mean, there's stuff, again, like that arm getting ripped off.
Oh, yeah. You know how many movies we've seen where I think that somebody's arm should literally have been torn off in a scene and it doesn't happen? But like, we finally see a movie where that happens and it's the greatest thing.
Time, Hollywood. Yeah.
That's all we needed.
Yeah. So, okay, here's some of the things I noted that he did. There's a sword fight. There's a great fight where Momoa is fighting one guy and then another guy is trapped behind a door. He punches through the door, gets the second guy. There's so much murder in this, too.
It's
At
great.
one point, someone gets stabbed in the neck from the back, so the knife comes out the front.
Oh, I think that was a Momoa kill. Or no, that might have been a Batista one.
I think that was Batista.
Because I think Momoa makes the comment about how it was kind of dark.
Yeah, it was dark, man. And then there's like a really, really cool scene. I literally wrote, holy shit, glass hallway fight set to Wu-Tang. That's amazing. Someone gets murdered Hammer Girl style. So that's Claw first,
Claw
like
first.
from the Raid 2. And getting back to that Japanese musician who you're talking about who does a lot of coke, in the middle of a fight, he rips a line off of his gun and then shoots someone.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
That's really, is it silly? Yes, but it's incredibly creative. And it really is hard to come up with new things that also deal with the environment and the characters.
Well,
There's
this
a real
movie
art.
is basically Bad Boys. So it's like,
Yeah, man.
you had to do something that wasn't done in Bad Boys,
Yep.
which they managed to do.
Oh, they did. They did some great things.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. Loved it, man.
Man.
You know what? I was going to give it a 4, but I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I love this thing. I'm ready to rewatch it 24/7. I really
enjoyment?
liked it. And then for quality, I gave it a 4. I don't know why I didn't give it a 4.5, but it just feels a little more 4-y to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like definitely could have done some more practical stuff. I think those two dudes can do some of that stuff.
A little practical. They could have beefed up.
Look a little bit better. I mean, there are things that they could have done, but
yeah, more like story stuff. But you know what? I don't care because I want to watch people's arms get ripped off. Not always.
Well, yeah, that's a quality entertainment
right there. Yeah, that's quality entertainment.
Quality entertainment for sure.
Yeah, guys, if you've got a subscription to Amazon, go watch it.
Yeah.
You could watch it in 5 parts. Take a break.
If you don't have a subscription to Amazon, pay $4 and rent it.
Yeah, it's really worth it. It's a fun.
Pay $4. Get your people, get your crazy friends who love action movies.
See you with friends for sure,
and watch it with them. Libations and whatever.
Yes, indeed. Excellent. All right. Well, with that, let's head on to our next movie. Okay, so Dracula, which has also been known as Dracula: A Love Tale, is directed and written by Luc Besson and stars Caleb Landry Jones as Dracula, alongside Zoe Blue as his love interest and Christoph Waltz as a priest who seems very Van Helsing coded. Besson approaches the Bram Stoker myth as a gothic romance rather than a straight horror story, presenting Dracula as a tragic, emotional figure shaped by grief, obsession, and, of course, immortality. And I think the film really prioritizes atmosphere and operatic visuals and doomed intimacy over traditional scares, positioning the story as a dark, stylized meditation on love and eternal punishment from God, rather than a conventional vampire thriller. It's very Luc Besson. If you've seen The Fifth Element, if you've seen the Transporter movies, if you've seen anything he's done, he does drama, like kind of what?
Do drama.
That's what I was going to say next. So it's very over the top, very stylized, but it also has, I'm going to say, the emotional maturity of maybe like a 14-year-old or so. Like, he doesn't really flesh out.
It would be
characters.
Cool for teenagers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luc Besson, cool for teenagers. That's his new motto.
Yeah. I
found the visuals in this, aside from the gargoyles, which were like, I mean, hey, it's a European film, and I always try to remind myself that it's context.
Oh.
Not every movie has the same budget as big blockbuster movies. But that is the one part that sort of took me out of it. They have some very obviously CG-ish gargoyles. But other than that, the visuals are amazing. There's some moments in the movie that I definitely will remember. I mean, some of them I laughed at.
For sure.
Like when his love interest dies, she's lying with, I don't know, a train, a gown. She's basically surrounded in a perfect circle of draped fabric.
Yeah.
And it's just so silly and over the top. There's some interesting visuals involving nuns. I got to say, Dracula has very greasy hair. I would have liked him to have watched it at one point, but, it's still the olden times.
Yeah.
And before I give it to you, I'm just going to go ahead and remind you of a quote that you said while we were watching it. You said, This is the transporter of Dracula films.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
It's very Luc Besson.
It really is. So what do you think, Sush?
Well, I actually heard about this movie last year since I'm a fan of Luc Besson's previous work. But I would say that I definitely follow more of his work as like an action movie producer.
Yeah.
Than his work as a writer-director. So this one was kind of on the back burner for me until I started seeing it show up in like upcoming theatrical releases. Fun fact, I've never seen The Fifth Element in its entirety.
I think it's overrated.
Yeah, but I enjoyed like the clean VFX of that movie and like Valerian.
It's a great looking movie.
So that probably influenced my assessment of this movie as far as like the positive aspects go. I think this movie does a pretty good job balancing creepy horror and visual dramaticism by focusing and expanding on the romance between Dracula and Elisabetta from the Bram Stoker novel. There's no doubt that this movie is really campy, but but I think the acting is just good enough for it to stay within the bounds of what I'd consider a generally palatable film by most audiences who enjoy or are at least open to fantasy horror type films.
I think the acting's good. It's as good as the circumstances of the script allow and as the style allows. You know? I feel like they're great actors, but
I feel like if you had a difficult time sitting through 2 hours of one of Besson's artsy films, then maybe pass on this. Because Caleb Landry Jones really amps things up as like a very over-the-top Dracula.
Very striking.
Yeah, if you're someone who can find really campy movies to be fun, then this is probably worth watching.
Yeah.
While I definitely wouldn't consider this movie to be deep, I did think that Caleb Landry Jones did a great job as Dracula. Because there were definitely moments during his performance where I forgot how unserious this movie could feel at times.
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz, also great in this movie.
He's the best.
His character's storyline runs concurrently with Dracula's until they eventually happen to intersect. So that's like a neat way for that to run. I think the supporting actors were fine, but I was hoping for more screen time from Zoe Blue.
Yeah.
Given that this movie was initially sold as a love story.
Right.
And she really didn't have that much time on screen. She had less time than Waltz did, and even some of the supporting cast.
It did feel like maybe Dracula, a yearning story would make more sense.
That would be a good,
Because you just see them at the beginning, and I mean, they're very devoted, but it seems like they're in the honeymoon phase. I don't know. It just does. And then when he comes back, or whatever he does, well, you guys, it's spoiler for 100 years old story, but they're together so briefly, and it just feels like, I don't know if that's a love story, but he sure.
Well, I think the strongest elements of the movie were definitely the cinematography, choreography, and the costumes.
Oh, the costumes and the wigs. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like everyone looked great, unless they looked horrifying and they were supposed to.
Yeah, I can honestly say it's some of the most beautiful work I've seen as far as attempts to convey emotion through those three elements in a film within recent memory.
That's really true. Yeah.
I felt like the weakest aspect of the movie was the story.
Yeah.
Sure, I think we realized early on that a significant portion of this movie is about the tragedy of Elisabetta's death and Dracula's suffering that follows. But at least at some point since the release of the film, like we were mentioning it before, it was being pitched as a love story, given the subtitle, A Love Tale. And we actually don't spend much time showing that in the film as I would have liked. I suppose it makes sense, though, that it hasn't been advertised with the subtitle. If the studio might have also felt the same about the end product. So with that said, I'll go into my rating. Enjoyment, I give it a 3. Quality, I give it a 3. Overall, I think it's a decent movie. Nails most of the visual aspects it's trying to deliver. but does come up short as far as the story goes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not above watching something that's campy and vain, or enjoy unique genre mix-ups like horror romance,
Mm-hmm.
then this is probably worth checking out. Also,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Bassan's very stylized sci-fi or fantasy films, then you'll probably enjoy this too.
Yeah. Gosh, I enjoyed the watch, but after thinking about it, I ended up going lower on my score than I first thought I would.
Cool.
For enjoyment, I gave it a 2. And for me, that was about... The movie is very campy, but there's something to me that reads as it not intentionally being campy. And in this particular case, that made me enjoy it a little bit less.
Yeah.
If it had been a lot bigger, I think it would have been a little bit more my speed. Or if it had been a little more serious, it would have been a little more my speed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's where I gave it that. For quality, I gave it a 2.5. And really, it is with this movie and with a lot of Luc Besson movies, it's sort of balancing the technical visual work with the story. And to me, I did think the story kind of, I didn't know where it was. I mean, I knew where it was going because I know Dracula, but it just felt a little meandering sometimes.
Yeah.
And the conclusion didn't feel quite as powerful as I think that
Makes
it was
sense.
intended to. So, but, if you like Luc Besson, if you like seeing some crazy visuals, go for it.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what I
great
say.
looking movie. I mean,
it's
nothing
beautiful.
else,
Yeah, it's really beautiful. If anything, the hair, the makeup, the costumes, and yeah, the choreography. There's some scenes that are just laid out so beautifully. It feels like dance, so.
Yep, there are like dance scenes too.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there are definitely scenes where there's physical acting where choreography is required in order to make it happen, but it's not like a dance.
And I gotta say, the nun scene.
Yeah, that's really, basically the one that we're talking
really
about.
Cool. So when you see that, you'll know what we mean.
Yep.
And that's, I think, the high point of the movie.
For sure.
Cool. All right. Let's see what's next. Well, I know what's next.
Yeah.
Okay. Crime 101 is directed and written by Bart Layton, based on the novella by Don Winslow, and takes a stripped-down, kind of procedural approach to the modern crime thriller. The film stars Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo, with a supporting cast that includes Barry Keoghan and Halle Berry. And basically, it's set against a series of high-end jewel heists along the Pacific Coast Highway, a.k.a. the 101. And it follows a disciplined detective who believes the crimes all point to one methodical thief, turning the film into a tense cat-and-mouse exercise in rules, patterns, thin line between professionalism and obsession. Yeah, I found this movie really interesting. It has a good setup. I think we both talked about this after we saw it. All of our 4 main characters are at a real turning point in their life, or at least 3 of them.
Great.
And, initially I was kind of worried that it would be kind of like Crash, that sort of paths crossing type of movie, because we do see our 4 characters sort of literally driving by each other in the beginning.
Right.
But it ends up becoming an interesting, complicated story. Each of them has really their own plot, and we eventually see them all come together. And the way that their different motivations and goals sort of align or don't align with each other, it's not tied up in a bow. Things aren't exactly one-to-one. I thought it was interesting. We watched an interview with the director, and it was really interesting to learn that he was a documentarian and that he really works to bring a lot of realism and research into his movies. So he talked about how he really went out and talked to people who do high-end heists. He talked to criminals, and that really informed the work. Nice. And it's interesting because some of that's cool because it brings something unique.
Yeah, for sure.
But there can also be something negative, which is sometimes I think there's fun details that maybe he really liked, but Not that everything has to serve a point in a plot, but they don't sort of serve it the way you would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. What'd you think of the movie, Sush?
So apparently this movie wasn't an introduction to crime course,
Yeah.
as some might have assumed, but rather a movie that deals with a series of crimes that have occurred on Highway 101 in the Los Angeles area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that was established pretty early on in the movie.
Yes.
But yeah, then again, maybe this was kind of a course, not on how to commit crimes, but rather how someone who comes from mostly producing and directing docuseries adapts to not only handling the same duties, but also writing a fictional crime thriller. Yeah, before I get into my thoughts on the movie itself, I just want to say that this is one of the few movies where I felt like the trailer was totally a disservice to the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the movie makes it seem as if Halle Berry's character is outright helping Chris Hemsworth's character, who's a thief. But in the movie, it feels at least slightly more of a lead into a crossroads situation.
Yeah, it's
for her to kind of make a decision whether or not to help him or to report him to her employer or the authorities, rather than, just making an outright decision to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, yeah, that was like a weird situation. But leading up to seeing it, I think the thing that drew my attention to this movie the most was just the cast.
Yeah, great cast.
You got Chris Hemsworth in the lead as Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate roles where he does an American accent because he consistently slips out of it. I have to say that this is one of the better instances where he does that. Partially for how well his acting is in general in the movie, but also partially for how little he actually speaks in it. This movie actually doesn't have much dialogue in it overall.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'd say most of the dialogue's delivered by Mark Ruffalo and maybe Halle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
Ruffalo does a good job playing a cop, but I swear they just try to make him seem as dirty and disgusting as possible.
Oh, yeah, they really do. They sloven him up.
Yeah. And Halle Berry plays an insurance broker for rich clients looking to take out policies on their high value belongings. And I think she does a pretty good job playing the role of somebody who would be in a salesy position like that.
Definitely. And one where appearances are a big focus.
For sure.
Because they're trying to get in creepy old men to get insurance.
But yeah, supporting cast is also solid. Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro, who played Arnold's daughter in the TV series Fubar.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those movies where we're like, they cast them just to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with people like Nick Nolte and Corey Hawkins.
I know. I love him. He's great. But yeah, he does almost nothing.
Right. But both of them could have easily done more. But yeah, they don't do much for the movie, really, like time-wise. I was expecting this to be a potentially boring crime thriller. But while the pacing can be slow at times, it actually ended up being a more complex, deep story than I expected. I honestly was just thinking it'd be a simple heist movie that's driven by big-name stars. But it ended up being more like a story of different individuals who are professionals, each at crossroads in their life, dealing with if and how much they want their occupation to kind of continue to consume their lives. With the lead up to a heist is like the backdrop, and the heist itself serving as the climax and the reveal for the decisions these characters make as far as what they end up deciding and how their involvement is. This movie very much had the feel of what I felt was characteristic of a classic crime thriller. There isn't much sound in the form of dialogue or environmental nor music, unless the plot really calls for it, for either storytelling or setting a mood.
Yeah, it feels a little like a throwback in some ways.
Yeah.
In the music, they had some sort of synthy stuff that felt a little like Drive, but it was very minimal.
Yeah, like in some of the best examples, I think the details are sparse. In a way, it's almost like they don't waste anything because they always end up mattering. But also, like I mentioned before, the shared theme of each of the leads going through The crossroads moment also helps with that. Additionally, I felt like Leighton's focus on professional knowledge, skills, and maybe even
Yes.
like a personality type for each of the leads was a bonus.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this attention to detail is due to his time working on docuseries. While you can kind of tell at times that he might not be as thoughtful about his writing when it comes to like the mannerisms and the dialogue of more like average people type stuff. He definitely puts more into making these professional characters seem true to who their real life counterparts would be. So my rating, for enjoyment, I give this a 3. For quality, I give it a 3.5. I just think it was a solid crime thriller with a big name cast that's better than most in its genre. It's not something that'll pack theaters for like weekend nights, but I'd say it's a perfect movie to see as a weekend matinee.
Yeah.
Having only seen some of Leighton's TV work and seeing how I only came across maybe half a dozen films he's worked on, it makes sense how detailed the professional side of the leads of the film are. But it's almost surprising how well developed the story was too, since it didn't take long into the movie to realize that this movie wasn't just about a heist and it was much more than that.
Yeah. Interesting. So for this one, I gave it for enjoyment a 3. And I have to be honest, one of the main factors and why I gave it a little bit lower is related to a character that actually we haven't discussed a ton of, which is the love interest for Chris Hemsworth's character. The actress was great, super charming. There's stuff about her character that I liked, but the way she behaved, I'm sorry. There is no woman in her situation, I think, who would be taken in by him. Yes, he's Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But this guy, like, has terrible communication skills.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he barely gives her any information. You know, she goes to his house. He has no photos of other people. She asks if he has family. He's like, yes. Which, by the way, is the same answer that the wrestler Orange Cassidy gave once. Someone asked, do you have any siblings? And he goes, yeah, I got some of those. You know, it's like that.
That's great.
Gives no information. She's like, how'd your last relationship end? He's like, work. She's like, what is your work? He's like, I can't tell you. She's like, well, what's the problem with your work? Well, sometimes I have to leave for long stretches of time at no notice. Like,
you want to know that I find that kind of funny too, because it's almost like, especially now that I know that this director has not worked on a ton of films, it's almost like that character served 2 purposes. He wanted Chris Hemsworth's character to be mysterious, obviously, but also he just didn't want to have to write a backstory.
Well, I also think partly it's a way of revealing things about him. Because he does eventually reveal a teeny bit about himself.
Right.
And also, you know, it's like the save the cap thing. Like, he's got to be a good guy if he got this nice girl to like him. And yeah, I just was like, where are her friends who have Find My Location on for her, who are calling her, being like, where are you at?
Maybe as like a point of motivation, even if she serves as that, she's not entirely necessary.
No.
There's other motivating factors for Chris Hemsworth's character in this movie for him to do what he's doing. So.
What it would have made sense to me is have him have a strong father-son relationship with Nick Nolte. Easy.
Yeah, or something like that.
A million movies have done that. It works great. You know, you've tied up the storyline with emotional depth. So that I just was so driven nuts by that because I just kept being like, girl, no, you know. And also him, because, you know, he's Chris Hemsworth, but he's very
they
unpleasant.
wanted so bad for her to be like a catalyst for him to make a decision, but I just don't think the relationship was as developed as it needed to be for something like that to take place in a story. So I didn't buy into it too much.
Yeah, and everything else, I think the plot line was really good. I think there are some things with Barry Keoghan's character also that I felt like, Nick Nolte, why would you hire that guy?
Barry Keoghan is just definitely the wild card in the movie. Yeah. So I don't think anything of it other than that he's the element of chaos.
Yeah, he's going to stir shit up.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I gave it for that. And for quality, I gave it a 3.5. A lot of it on that strength of the intertwining stories and that plot line. I thought it was good, and I'm so sorry. I'm the kind of person who'll be like, oh, I think this is going to happen, and I think I was wrong most of the time. So yeah.
No, it was well made because I think it was not as predictable as we thought.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch more from this director going forward.
For sure.
Cool. All right, on to TV. Okay, guys. It's time for Spartacus: House of Ashur, episode 10, season finale, titled Hail Caesar.
Good Lord.
A2 sushi.
Man. Ashur, both having like the best and worst time ever.
I know.
Weirdly.
Okay. So for this synopsis, I tried to kind of condense it because I want to get into the meat of this concept.
Yeah.
So we pick up in the aftermath of Gabinius's death and funeral, and Rome is honoring him. But politically, it's already clear Ashur isn't getting the reward he was expecting. So he approaches Caesar about the arena that was supposedly going to be built in his name, only to be told that Crassus has redirected those funds towards villas instead. Which I found hilarious because that's what they do now. They turn everything into real estate.
They do.
Anyway, back at the Ludus, everything is tense. Ashur's trying to hold power, but the loyalty in his house feels shaky. And then we get the big centerpiece here, which is Achillea's return to the arena.
Hell yeah.
So this is her moment, capital M. And she faces off against the Scythian in a brutal, drawn-out fight. It's crazy. Weapons are used. She sort of like does some parkour,
Hell yeah. That was cool, man.
Yeah, it's messy, it's physical, and Achillea ultimately wins in a insane finishing move. So...
Can I stop you for a moment? I just have a question about this whole arena fighting thing.
Yeah.
It's like, are there rules against using the wall? Apparently not.
No, you can just like jump up on it.
Like, what are the rules if you get thrown into the crowd? Because that also happens in this. So I guess there are basically no rules. Just get the fuck back in as soon as possible.
Yeah, we watch a lot of wrestling, a lot of pro wrestling.
So they're like pro wrestling rules where they kind of like...
I think it is, yeah. They love it when they go in the
crowd. Like, whatever.
They were cheering like it's WrestleMania, so...
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. So, okay, finishing move. All right. So Achillea's got her little shield.
Oh my God.
And she just sort of whack, jams it into the other lady's mouth. And then... Guys, she pops the top of her head off.
Hell yeah. She just stomps on that shield and it'll just like...
Yeah.
It sounds like a bottle cap.
No, you know what it was like? It was like a Pez dispenser or something.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So that was crazy.
It was dope. It's one of the things that you definitely love watching this series for. I think this first season has taught me what we really look to the show for, and that's definitely awesome kills is one of the things.
Sweet kills.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we got this big win, and Ashur, who, by the way, is in the stands with the common folk because Viridia's creepy-ass uncle is like, this place is for Romans only. Get out of here. Like, whatever. So anyway, he's excited. He gives a hug to Hilara and smooches her on the mouth because,
excited.
Sleeping with your slave.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
He does that. But anyway, it was not a sexual case. It was more of a celebratory.
Yeah.
But Viridia clocks it. And then he doesn't see that she saw that. But later he makes eye contact with her. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was funny.
He looks up into the sky because they have a whole thing about looking up into the sky. And then just immediately the sky turns like black,
Oh, my
There's
God.
Like storm
it was so
clouds.
Hilarious.
And she just walks off like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
So she's not pleased. Then after the fight, more personal relationships are changing. Tarkhan and Achillea, they, quote, grow closer. And they're talking about how much they miss Kelidus. I learned it's Kelidus, not Philidus. And Targon responds, best moochiner. And she's like, no, I can't. And then she just attacks him.
She
And
just
they
like
just
grabs him by the neck and shoves him up against the wall. And
shelves are falling down.
No.
And then there's what I would call an extensive sex scene. It's, you know what, Starz?
Trauma bonding.
Yeah, exactly. It's a classic Starz. We're all adults here situation. Okay, so then they go back to Rome and Ashur confronts Caesar again about his promised reward. And Caesar refuses. And this time the dismissal, it's not coy, it's definitive. Caesar makes it clear that Ashur is not Rome's equal. He's a tool and that's it. And y'all, things go off the rails. Instead of backing down, Ashur snaps. And in a sudden move, he attacks Caesar. So he stabs him in the chest. There's a little bit of back and forth. But then Caesar just starts. Caesar's on the ground. And Ashur just starts hacking his face up, man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
psycho killer style. You know, like he's really going in on that face. And it's chaotic and impulsive. It's not a master plan by any means. It's just like rage.
Yeah.
And the episode ends with Ashur standing over Caesar's body, blood like everywhere. And he declares, Hail Caesar, and scene.
Man.
Oh, this is the perfect conclusion.
It was a great end to the first season.
It was incredible. I mean, the fight scenes were fantastic. I find it a little hard to believe that Viridia would not know that dudes are out here sleeping with their slaves because it's horrible for women in those times,
I
you know?
think she puts Ashur on a pedestal.
I think that's what it is too.
And she wants to think very highly of him, but she's got to accept the fact that he runs a gladiator camp.
I know. Well, and
things
honestly,
get wild at the gladiator camp.
Honestly, it's probably better that it ends this way because the other option is that they'd be in a relationship and then she'd find out that he suffocated her dad.
Oh,
killed him. You know, he got off easy.
Yeah.
I really like the Targon and Kelia thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I do. Not because I think like good for you guys, but because I think that that's literally what happened. It happened to Joe Biden.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so sorry to bring it up, but it does. It's a thing that happens where people grow closer when someone dies. And yeah, you hear about stories like that all the time. Also, I like it because it's just good fodder for drama next season.
Yeah, for sure.
Because ultimately they are warriors. They're going to have to be fighting each other. There's going to be things shifting. She's going to get more power and prestige than him. He could get jealous. So it's just good dramatic fodder. You know, it's juicy stuff. And oh my God, I love that he slashes Caesar up. Number one, because that guy was so weird. The performance was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And the look was weird. And I'm just like over it.
Funny.
But also I was like, okay, this is really bold. I didn't think that's what was going to happen. I thought
me neither.
I was rooting for Proculus to go, of course. And here I am this season, excited about that. And also feeling like Satyrus is funny. So I think he's okay.
Yeah,
you know,
he was
like,
hilarious.
yeah, I don't, Sush, what do you think?
Oh my God, man. I did not think we were going to go this nuts.
I didn't either, man.
So I know when we initially watched the show, I tried to find out some information about it and found that it was an alternate reality or alternate timeline show.
Yeah.
Basically just showing if something had changed in the sequence of events in the Spartacus series. I thought that we are just going to change that one incident primarily. I did not think it was going to go off the rails like it has.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to get full Caesar murder in the first season. So, yeah, shout out to Starz for just doing some risky shit, I guess. But yeah, let me get into my notes. It's nice that we start off this episode with Ashur and Viridia finally sharing what you would refer to as a smoochie.
Yeah.
But too bad that's pretty much as good as either of these two will have it in this episode.
Yeah.
Because they have to resume seeing to their societal roles and duties.
Ugh.
As you had guessed, Ashley, Gambinius's brother, Servius, is pretty disgusting.
Fucking hate him.
From the start, instead of really dealing with any matters of his dead brother, he instead decides to go the creepy, incestuous angle,
Ugh.
interrupting Viridia and her mother in the bath because he calls, quote, paterfamilias or whatever.
Seems more like
Okay.
paterfamilias.
Yeah,
Right?
What else? Oh, we got our first appearance, I think, of an ancient Roman strap-on.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, we got that. Continuing with our nearly weekly comment about how this show has turned out better than ever expected. I really like how they've added some complexity to the Tarkhan redemption arc.
Mm.
We can tell that he's clearly changed because at the start of the episode, we see how he's motivated to train Kilia toward defeating the Scythian, though needing some guidance from Chorus as far as his approach goes.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I guess later on, they felt the need to remind us that this is Starz and that we're all adults here. Talk about complexity.
Dang.
Also, Tarkhan recognizes that Alana may not be the best person to have around him at the moment, given that she seems to focus on the convenience of his dad being out of the picture now, rather than thinking that he might need any emotional support dealing with his father's death. Yeah, that was kind of wild.
Yep.
The match that Satyrus has with the Lady Warrior with the fancy helmet, hilarious.
Yeah,
especially when she yells at him when they win at the end. She yells at him how she's gonna fuck him because of his assistance and the victory. And all that Satyrus says back is just like, and I will let you. Because I mean, what is a guy of his size going to do with a lady like that? Kind of.
Let her.
But yeah, the match between Achilles and the Scythian was amazing. Perfect to leave this for the season finale because it pays off so much for the character development and the overall story. I do think it had a corny ending with Viridia seeing Ashur celebrating the victory with Hilara. Honestly, was that celebratory hug and kiss between them that big of a deal?
I don't know.
Oh no. Fun fact for you, Ashley.
Ooh, I love fun facts.
The lady who plays the Scythian, Annie Jacqueline Mossman, is actually a stunt performer. And she was credited for stunts in one of your favorite movies, The Fall Guy.
Oh, hell yeah. That filmed in Australia as well. I wonder if she's Australian.
I don't know. But last bit, goddamn, man. I was not expecting Ashur to just go into full meltdown mode and not only fight, but murder Caesar.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
I have no idea what's going to happen now, since I think Caesar leads the Roman Republic. So, I mean, does that mean that Ashur is going to take over his leadership position? I know that we have Crassus to deal with, but yeah, man, I don't know what to expect. But
I can't wait.
Bring on the next season. Shit.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've confirmed the second season yet, but we should hear soon. We'll definitely be watching it again.
Cool.
Cool. All right, Sush, what do you have for us with Hijack?
All right. Well, this week on Hijack, we continue on with Sam and all the crazy shit that's been happening on the train. Season 2, episode 5, Outage. As we discovered at the tail end of the last episode, Jess, the doctor lady that we saw talking with Freddy, is apparently working with those orchestrating the hijacking. She's seen eavesdropping and searching through her bag throughout the episode, which later becomes central to the plot. But as tensions rise, passengers, including teachers Colin and Lucas, and Anders, the greasy long-haired dude with the bag full of drugs, Debate confronting Sam. These conversations escalate into arguments, and some passengers prepare to revolt, believing they can overpower Sam and end the hijacking. During this, Sam observes Jess drop what he identifies as a detonator, confirming his suspicions about her involvement. He attempts to retrieve the device, but that leads to chaos, with Sam being attacked and tied up by revolting passengers. The revolt leads to Anders forcing Otto to stop the train. When the train stops, Sam warns that the bombs will detonate if the passengers try to leave. Otto confirms the threat for Sam to the passengers, and a bomb is actually found under the train car by one of the revolting passengers who, is tasked with checking, which raises the stakes for everyone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at Control, Chief Ada Winter is on the phone with Detective Beck to discuss the bomb's technical details, learning that it can't be disabled remotely, so somebody actually needs to be there in person to do it. Beck investigates clues left by Sam, while Olivia secretly meets with Faber, who believes that Sam is being framed, actually, and asks her for help uncovering the truth. So it's cool that we finally get that cleared up.
Yeah.
Under pressure, Sam admits to the passengers that he's being forced into the hijacking, with threats against his family, previously thinking that, they might have killed his son, and now they're holding his wife, basically.
Yeah.
This revelation quells the passenger revolt as they realize the complexity and the danger of the situation. Jess's device is actually revealed to be a timer that must be reset every 15 minutes to prevent the bombs from detonating. But due to the confusion and the delay, the timer isn't reset in time. This results in one of the bombs exploding. And we see actually right about that's supposed to happen. And the passengers are trying to evacuate that last train. Petra, that older lady, she ends up falling, and she pretty much doesn't make it off that train. But yeah, during this episode, we also get updated on the situation with Marcia. We see her neighbors put the body of Daniel's friend in the guy's own SUV. Then it's revealed that they're working for whoever's behind the hijacking, having been told to keep Marcia up at the cabin and in the dark. They ignore and send a canned text reply when they see that Daniel is actually trying to call and check on the guy that they just shot. In the meantime, Marcia spots the neighbors from a distance as she's walking through the same forest as them. Eventually, she sneaks up on them as they're having a discussion. The woman comments to Marcia about how it seems like she's scared her stalker off. Marcia affirms this and then just heads back to the cabin. And the neighbors start worrying, apparently, about whether or not Marcia overheard them, because they were talking about how they're supposed to be keeping an eye on her. Eventually, they decide to confront Marcia. They cut the guy's hand, and they use that as an excuse about a climbing accident, so that Marcia allows them into the cabin to get cleaned up. However, we don't see anything after she lets them in. So we're kind of left at the end of this episode with the bomb going off and not knowing what happens with Marcia. What do you think about the episode, Ashley?
Well, I think Marcia is a bad bitch, and she's going to be just fine, first of all.
Cool.
She's great. I think the great thing about this episode was I loved seeing Sam out of control. In the first season of this, it's all about him trying to get control of the situation on the plane and sort of the back and forth of what he could do. In this one, the first episodes, I mean, it's been cool to see. He's so good at manipulating situations. He's very observant. He's been very calm and cool and collected. And in this one, with him getting captured, light capturing by the train passengers, we get to see him really face the situation, which is he's not in control, both literally in terms of the operation that's happening here, but also just in
Situation.
This situation. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And it also was a bit of a relief, you know, because I've been just waiting for when something like that was going to happen. I'm like, come on, you can't do this forever.
Right.
It was interesting to see how the different passengers work together or don't work together. I kind of think that the way people reacted, or at least the reactions people have, are pretty realistic to what I think would happen.
Yeah.
I do think having the guy who in the last episode, like, or maybe the one before that, was like getting a big bag of drugs and hiding it, you know, maybe he wouldn't be the guy who would lead that.
I have some notes about that.
Yeah. That to me just felt like a bit of a,
Yeah.
you know, that guy would be the one. Because he doesn't look like he's doing the drugs that make you kidnap someone. He looks like he's doing the drugs that make you fall asleep and not notice someone being kidnapped. So that was interesting. It was interesting to see that Toby Jones really is someone who probably Sam's going to be able to trust.
Yeah, that's good.
He really does seem to be interested in finding out what's happening once he sort of realizes Sam's dynamics. So that was cool. Yeah, I mean, those are my big impressions of the episode. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I agree. Like, for as in control as Sam has been so far, it was interesting to see that he started kind of panicking. I found it kind of weird that he answered the radio noticeably more irritated than usual.
Yeah.
Given that the police have agreed to his demands. So, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a slip up, because it's like, do you want to reveal to them that you're not doing good right now? But yeah, I remember questioning whether the Cheapside firm could really be the mastermind behind this hijacking this time, given that they wouldn't be so obvious as to perform another hijacking to get Bailey Brown freed. So I'm glad that the writers went as far as having Stewart, the hijacker from the last season, bring up that there's no way that they would do that. I thought that was a fun touch, having Daniel have him fished out of prison to interrogate him about this stuff. I thought it was kind of funny. That's all he had to say, basically. He's like, yeah, I know about Sam hijacking the train. I got a TV in my cell. But yeah, not that bad things haven't happened already, but I kind of been holding out for shit to really start hitting the fan. And I'm glad this episode started doing that with a few different payoffs, like confirming that Marsha's neighbors by her cabin aren't who they claim to be. And a bomb finally going off after almost 3 episodes of bomb talk.
A lot of bomb talk, yeah.
I think the one thing that annoyed me was the passenger revolt, given that it was led by the guy who was hiding a bag full of drugs in the previous
Right. Come on.
Like, are all these passengers seriously just lining up behind this dude to back him up? Arguably, I don't think that so many people would choose to act against someone like Sam in this situation either.
Yeah.
In real life, especially without having any actual evidence to point towards a successful revolt. But it seemed like at least a half dozen people on this train apparently were willing to risk it. Okay. I'm still on the fence about Jess. I mean, I really want her to be working for whoever is behind this, but I'm starting to get the feeling that this is another situation where somebody who is doing this stuff isn't really working for them. Nor are they really keeping tabs on Sam for them. So even if this ends up not being masterminded by the Cheapside firm, which is what I think is the case, you know, the show itself is also kind of trying to put that idea in your head. It just makes more sense for whoever is behind this to keep their hands as clean as possible. So, yeah, I think this is a brand new party, or just somebody who we at least haven't been introduced to this season yet. It could have been somebody from last season that we met.
We'll have to know soon, though, because we're getting into these episodes.
Well, it's got 8 episodes,
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I like how certain unclear aspects of the story receive some clarification, both for us and apparently the passengers. I like that Faber wasn't working against Sam, but rather was trying to cover for him by deleting that image of Bailey Brown entering the country, and that the passengers finding out that Sam isn't behind this hijacking, that he's actually being forced to carry it out. As I mentioned before, I didn't think too highly of the passenger revolt, but I think it makes sense in the show in the context that Sam is consistently dealing with some sort of obstacle. So they had to present him with something during the course of carrying out this hijacking in hopes of keeping his wife alive. I'm looking forward to seeing if anything wild happens with Bailey Brown's handoff being stopped. Like some crazy rescue, because they basically called it off and they're like, okay, well, just take him back. Like, I don't know if they really leave stuff like that to not do something cool with it.
Right.
I'm also curious what the hell happens between Marcia and her neighbors.
Yeah.
But most of all, obviously, I want to know who the hell is behind this all, given how it at least seems to be connected to the Cheapside firm, but that we're led to believe that that might be a distraction. So, cool elements. I think a lot of stuff that needed to get confirmed for people to feel on board happened. I think this show does a good job of timing the reveals properly. So it gives them to you when you kind of need them to get your fix.
It's true. It is a show where I'll spend an episode being like, they better do this soon.
Yeah.
And then the next episode they do it, you know?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it is one of the most rewarding experiences about watching this show is that they're good with the payoffs. They don't drag it on too long. Yeah, and they make them pretty smart too.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Ashley, what are we watching next?
Sushi. Next week, we are watching the movies Cold Storage, Wuthering Heights, and Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I love that name. So next week, we're going to be down one TV show. So we're going to just do Hijack, and then we'll be picking up next on Monarch on March 6th podcast episode.
Yeah, so that'll be a week after it comes out because it's on Fridays. So sorry for that, but you know,
these
you'll get
shows,
the recap.
why don't they come out on our schedule?
I don't know.
We got to talk to someone.
We got to talk to them Apple TV people. See if they can give us these episodes early. We got a podcast to do.
Yeah, come on, guys. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We really, really, really appreciate you and hope you're having fun listening to the podcast as much as we do recording it.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review.
Ooh.
Positively, preferably.
I mean, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and follow us on the social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can find all that information in the description for the podcast every week. Yeah,
thanks again. Have a great, great week.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Laughter in the air, friendships touch. Movies and delights, we'll share so much.
Let's enjoy this